He drove a garbage truck through the same neighborhood for over 30 years, woke up at 4 a.m., collected bags of trash most people wouldn't touch, and went home smelling like the streets. No one ever asked him for advice. No one imagined he was anything more than a trash collector, but they were wrong. Because the man they ignored owned 12 properties and built a fortune one dirty day at a time. His name was Charles Allen, but most people just called him Chuck. To the neighbors, he was quiet. To co-workers, dependable. To the city, invisible. He never complained, never missed a shift, and never spent money he didn't have. He wore the same jacket year-round, carried lunch in an old plastic container, and when payday came, he'd go straight to the bank, not to spend, to invest. Chuck started working sanitation in the early 1980s. Back then, he made just enough to get by. His boots were secondhand. His apartment was tiny, but his vision was bigger than most could imagine. While others spent Friday nights at the bar, Chuck spent his nights reading about real estate, sitting at the kitchen table, under a single bulb, highlighting books from the local library. He studied markets, visited open houses on weekends, and asked questions most people were too proud to ask. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He was trying to understand how to escape the cycle. His first property was a tiny duplex in a rough neighborhood. It cost him everything he had saved. He moved into one half, rented the other, and learned what no one had ever taught him in school. Ownership creates freedom. That's when it clicked. He didn't need a promotion. He needed properties, assets that worked while he rested. So he stayed in his job, woke up before the sun, picked up trash all day, and saved every extra dollar he could. He didn't upgrade his car, didn't chase vacations, didn't flex for anyone. Every time he had enough, he bought another property, a small house, a condo, a foreclosure others overlooked. He drove across town after work, met with agents in dirty boots, did walkthroughs covered in sweat. He fixed the places up with his own hands, painted walls at night, installed toilets on weekends, cut his own grass, cleaned his own gutters. There were no shortcuts, no partners, no outside money, just grit, discipline, and a plan. Over time, his rental income grew. One tenant turned into 5. 5 became 10. And by the time he was 55, Chuck owned 12 rental properties, all paid off, all generating cash flow. And still, he kept his job. People were shocked. "How did you do it?" they'd ask. "You're just a trash collector." And he'd smile and say, "No, I'm a landlord who picks up trash." He never let their voices define him. He let his assets speak for him. Chuck never upgraded his lifestyle, never showed off, never moved to a fancy neighborhood. He stayed in the same small home he bought 30 years ago, used the same lawnmower, shopped at the same discount grocery store, because he wasn't doing it for status, he was doing it for peace. While others worked to spend, Chuck worked to buy back his time. He retired at 58, no debt, no stress, no regrets. He didn't have millions in the bank, but he had freedom. And for him, that was priceless. Now he spends his time helping young men in his community, teaching them what school never did, how to manage money, how to delay gratification, how to build real wealth, slowly, quietly, permanently. He tells them, "It's not about what you do. It's about what you do with what you earn." and they listen. Because Chuck lived it. Charles Allen proved something powerful. That wealth doesn't care about job titles. It only cares about habits, choices, consistency. He turned a garbage route into a portfolio, and a modest paycheck into permanent freedom. He never looked the part, never acted the part, but he became what so many dream of, without ever leaving his lane. Because sometimes, the most underestimated man on the block is also the wealthiest. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to believe again, and subscribe for more stories of quiet power and hidden greatness, because freedom has nothing to do with what you wear, and everything to do with what you build.